Hey, this is Rachel Bolan from Skid Row, and you are watching or listening to Nashville on the Rocks.
She's wild on a Tuesday and free as fire. Nails black as sunset on a stairs of liar. She's chaos and calm, swears there's life on Mars. When she's taking it all, says it's never enough. There's thistles on the tree, so you can't get close enough to see the bright-eyed wanderer you chose. She's always been the thorn on the rose.
Hey guys, we're back with a brand new episode and ready to rock out with our next guest on Nashville on the Rocks. On today's show, we have a very special guest joining us. Hailing all the way from Australia and now making a name for herself in Nashville, she's a singer-songwriter musician whose journey in the music industry is truly inspiring. Her latest solo EP, Rivers and Roads, produced by Howard Willing, showcases her incredible songwriting skills and have led to some amazing opportunities. From opening for legends like Glen Campbell and the Smashing Pumpkins, to then joining Billy Corgan and the band as a touring vocalist and instrumentalist, she has truly made a mark in the music world. So grab a drink, sit back as we dive into this conversation with our friend, the incredibly talented KAIE Cole. Hey, KAIE, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Welcome to Nashville on the Rocks. Everybody, all of our listeners, people are watching, people are listening. We have KAIE Cole. She is a singer-songwriter who lives in Nashville, Tennessee, and she has a huge repertoire of people that you've played with, songs that you've written, people you've worked with. You are originally from Australia. You moved to LA. Now you live in Nashville. Girl, you got a lot going on. You have so much that we need to talk about. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here, and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. What a wonderful introduction. When I don't have to chime in and be like, well, I also do this. Thank you. That's lovely.
You're welcome. And you know what? It's so funny because every time I do research on my guests, I just feel like your list just went on and on and on. And I thought that was really freaking awesome because it just shows that like you're a really creative person all the time. Like you live your craft, you know?
I do. And like I used to kind of just tell people like a couple of bullet points depending on who the person was or what the situation was. I used to just be like, I'm this. But like I realized after a while, like you can't be everything to everyone. So just whatever you're doing, just be it and just do to me, just do the most that you can do and like dive in. If there's something that you can do it. If there's something you're excited about, just kind of go for it.
Well, I love that. I think that's such a good way to approach. And when you're someone who has a very busy schedule, I kind of want to find out how you make all that happen too. So you must be very good at time management.
I think I am, but I'm still one of those people, like I just do one thing at a time.
Okay.
I'm aware that aside from like singing and playing guitar or singing and playing an instrument, multitasking is not something that a lot of people actually do very well. We think we do, and then we realize that we've missed a word while we're typing or we've forgotten to do a thing. Like I've seriously just focused on getting one thing done and then moving on to the next and moving on to the next. And I write a lot of notes. I go through pads and pads of paper and I have notes
lists
on my phone and otherwise I have an exceptionally good memory and like it's painfully good, but I still write things down to double check my double checking.
Yes. So you don't drop the ball.
Exactly.
All right, where to start? Okay, how long have you been in Nashville?
I think it's been almost 10 years.
Okay.
I was coming back and forth. I moved to LA and was there for a few years and sort of started this crazy journey. Well, I mean, we can backtrack to LA, but like I started a crazy journey in Los Angeles and was only there for a couple of years before I started hearing word about Nashville and it being sort of music city. And I first and foremost consider myself to be a songwriter. So that was of great interest to me, to meet like great songwriters and aspire to build some bigger skills and really see what I can do as a songwriter. So I started booking trips over to Nashville. And I remember my very first trip to Nashville, I wrote maybe 6 or 7 songs. I played 4 shows, and one of the last shows I put together, I put together a show and pulled everyone together to come play like the songs we've written and other songs. And I remember people would ask me like, you know, how often do you come to Nashville? I'm like, it's my first trip. And like I should have like clicked like a light globe, like, you know, you should be living here. But it's also like a testament to who I am. Just like I'm very collaborative. I try and put people together and connect dots and try and just see what things can really do. But I just thought Nashville was such an interesting community, being so sort of inclusive, and, you know, people would bring you into this situation, invite you to this, invite you to that, stop you and tell you their life story in the grocery store. Yeah, all that good stuff. But it's a great city.
Oh, that's so cool. So you were really only in LA for a few years?
Yes.
And then you decide to make the transition over here.
Yes, and it was organic. Like making a move to LA was the biggest, scariest thing that I think I've done. I've done a lot of scary things, but that was the first big scary thing to do, to basically uproot myself. I had a producer, Howard Welling, that was somebody that I wanted to work with, reach out to me. So I had a reason to go to LA, so I made a couple of trips to LA to start recording and realized very quickly I need to be here. You can't do this. Like, this is the dream. This is what you've been doing. So, and I was playing 5-6 nights a week gigs, and I'm like,
in Australia?
that was my job. That's how I made my money, along with writing for other people and doing all the other juggling things that we do as creatives. But I was like, this is the time to bet on you.
Right.
So you pack, you know, your couple of suitcases, guitar, computer, and go, let's go. So that was terrifying. But once I got there, and like the ball started to roll very quickly, and I was brought into this situation and that situation, and I was opening up for Glen Campbell. I was recording on his records and being asked to do this for this person. I'd put together a band and started playing shows. But LA was the first big time I realized I can do this. I can really do this career that wasn't really afforded to me while in Australia, unfortunately. Just like wrong geography.
Sure. Yeah. That's like what, an 18-hour plane trip?
It's 15 to 16 hours depending on which direction you're going in because of the wind direction. And I've made it a lot of times, and it's awful every time. I've made it so many times. But I'm used to it. It ends up being 3 movies, 6 or 7 television shows, zoning in and out, sleeping on and off, and whatever. And eating lots.
Yeah, and just doing what you can. You're like, I'm going to get through this plane.
Yeah, just knock me out with some drinks and I'll wake up in America.
I can't do that. Like, if I'm on the way back from a big trip, I might have like a glass of wine on the plane, but like I'm like...
Yeah, your mind is elsewhere.
Most of the time, it's like when you land in Australia, it's the morning when you land. So the start of the day, you basically, and it's the start of the day 2 days later. I am always jet lagged, but you lose time and you lose a day because it's a day ahead.
Right.
So
I forgot about that.
You get off the plane to not just tomorrow, but the next day.
So you're just staying up on the trip, like...
Yeah, but then when you travel back, you get back on the day that you left.
Oh, so that's funny.
It's okay. It makes it. If you're Australian, it makes sense.
It's a time travel thing.
Exactly. Just hop in your DeLorean and you're ready to go.
So you you mentioned this producer.
Yes.
And how did you connect with him?
Well, I'm a liner notes person, so I read everything. I want to know who made what.
Oh, and for all of you who are really young and don't understand what liner notes are, that's what's like on the inside of like albums or vinyls or like CDs. You know, the people that like are
actually worked on the project,
worked on the album other than the artist. You know?
So to be the producer, the engineer, the songwriters who played on the records, you know, where it was recorded, all those things. So I always liked to know, why do I love this? Okay, I love this song. I think this is great. Why do I love it for other elements? Why do I love the sound of it? Why do I love the musicianship or who put this together. And I started to see, the same recording studios and the same producers and engineers. And Howard was one of those people. His name kept coming up as an engineer or a mixer or a producer on all these records. And they were so eclectic. It was everything from, Counting Crows to Macy Gray to OK Go to different British artists. And I was just like, okay, this is someone. So I did that I had a few sort of interesting producers in mind. And I'd written them on one of my websites at the time. Oh, if anyone knows, optimistic Katie. As
so
you do.
cute.
You just throw darts. Like, you don't even have the target. You just throw it up in there and you go, hit something.
Right.
Go. So that's me in a nutshell, to be honest. I'm very optimistic and I try. I will definitely throw spaghetti at the wall until I find the wall and then go, okay, no, I just need to let's try a different type of pasta. So yes, and so it circled back to me. Somebody that knew Howard said, hey, you should check out this girl. He checked out some of my music and was like, and reached out to me and was like, would you ever come to LA? And I was like, okay. Well, I have a reason to now. It's not just like in all those movies where the girl gets off the bus, following my dream. I'm gonna be, every movie about music where they just stumble. It's like, no, I had a plan. Now it wasn't just an idea. It was like, no, I can do this. And so once I traveled to LA and started making what would be my first American EP. After the second trip, I was like, okay, this is real. This is really real and happening. And these are the people that are in all those records and liner notes.
Yeah.
Here they are. You're
cool.
in the wrong place. So it kind of...
You got to go to them.
Yeah. And I'm not... There's a lot of artists that will come back and forth in town, make their records and then get back to whatever. And I'm not... It's not it's like, that's not the sort of, like, I live it. That's who I am. I'm authentic. So it's like, dive in. All of you, let's go. Let's see if you're going to crash and burn, not that you plan to fail, but if you're going to jump and you're not sure where you're going to land, there's a real possibility that it's a crevice and you're going to go right down in it. But for me, I landed and was like, okay, I'm doing this. And I hit the ground running, and it wasn't long after landing in LA and making the record and starting to do things that a UK radio promoter reached out to me, and his niche was US artists.
Okay.
And I'm now American.
That is so
American.
funny.
Obviously. Listen to this accent.
Yeah, where is that? Is that like not to reference that one of my favorite movie, Dumb and Dumber? Remember that? Where is that?
Yes.
A Jersey accent? You got
Well, to be fair, once I was in Nashville and somebody really didn't know my accent and asked me if I was from New York, and I said no.
Oh my God.
And they had like a bit of a scowl on their face, and I was like, no, I'm from Australia. And then it became a smile, like, the land down under and all that.
Oh, man.
Wow.
That's
but
hilarious.
I got lucky that I now was a US niche artist, and this radio promoter basically got me onto national radio play in the UK, and it started going. And I was like, well, geography, once again.
Geography.
Let's get on some more planes. So I booked myself a trip to the UK and played a couple of shows and did some radio interviews, and because I realised this was an opportunity. You're on national radio in the UK. If you don't do something, you are being dumb and dumber. So
I like that.
so that's me. Got to connect the dots. So I was like, okay, go do this, go do these things. And, I kept following that path, and I promoted a couple of extra songs to radio that got some other plays. Nothing hit quite as much as those first couple of songs that actually got playlisted, which means they end up on an official list for the BBC. It was BBC Radio 2, and they have an A list, a B list, and a C list. And I had songs that ended up on the C list, which just means they play the song maybe once a day.
Okay.
But
That's cool.
A lot of the other surrounding European countries look at those lists to go, what's new?
Right.
So I got
and
picked
once
up
a day
and
is
played.
not that bad.
No, and that was that thing of I got played by all these other surrounding countries too, and I found plays that were in Scotland, and it just means that you travel.
Right.
You now have
A fan base that's larger, that's paying attention.
Yes. So now I'm an American with UK radio play, and I had done some recording with Glen Campbell, and my story was building. I'd opened some shows for him, and
That is so cool, I just have to say.
I mean, I didn't realize until, I hate to say it, but when you move to America and you you start to, like, I was living in LA at the time, and like you start to reference like all these movies that you've seen, and like all these places are real, like they're real, like you're on the 405 freeway, or you're driving here and you're like this place or that place, and
The Whiskey Go-Go or something like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
All these, they're real places. Like I don't know why you don't think they're real when you're literally in another continent, in a different time zone. Your brain just
Sure.
goes, "Ugh."
So that's so
for me
cool.
it was like, it's real, I'm doing these things, and I learned more about like digging into real sort of country music and the classics of what like the American songbook really is made of, and why, and how that sort of affects you as an American person growing up, and your family and what they listen to. And I just found some incredible songwriting, and obviously Glen is an incredible musician, and he has a history playing as a session musician with the Wrecking Crew, and played on all those, incredibly famous albums from Pet Sounds to Frank Sinatra, and like he was that guy. He was the session guitarist, but that voice, and you're just
That
like,
voice.
incredible.
So how did that come to be?
My producer Howard, he had worked on
Hell
a
Yeah,
record.
Howard. Okay.
Yeah, it was Hell Yeah Howard, exactly. He had worked on one record with Glen and was working on another one at that particular moment, and brought me in to sing some background vocals, and it just became this, I was there and I sing, and I'm a session person as well, so it's like, get in there and do your thing, but like knowing now, it's like that, that would be officially his last release before he passed, and like his last official release, I was like, okay,
That's super special.
But
you didn't know.
I didn't know it. I didn't know it. Nobody knew. But anyway, I just felt like I was collecting these experiences with legends, legendary people, legendary studios. All these things were real to me now, and I started to think, well, I didn't think I could do any of this. What else don't I know I can do? Is that the right English?
I get what you're saying. I think you said it just fine.
Okay.
Like, what else?
I didn't know what I cannot do. No, I'm just kidding.
Like, what other limiting beliefs that you have that you're trying to challenge now? Like,
exactly.
if you could do that.
I didn't realize I could do any of that stuff. So I now know I'm capable of much more than I thought I could do. So
that's so
I
cool.
had a window open. It may not have been a door at that stage, but I had a window open in my mind and my abilities to be like, what's next? So I started doing what I did, which is like, okay, well, I need to make a record. So I started crowdfunding to make a record, which took forever. But while I was doing that, and very optimistic of like my fan base, it wasn't non-existent, but it was minimal, and some of it was in America and some of it was in the UK, and I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was just like, you got to do a thing. Do a thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm writing these songs, and I'm trying to expand my experience, and while making this record, Howard again was working with another legend, Chris Christopherson.
Oh man, what a voice too, huh?
That's so,
I know, and I'm just like, that's cool. He's got this cool career. He's got all these artists that he's worked with, and
were
all
you
these
a fan?
Things. Yeah, and as a songwriter, I think he's literally one of the best songwriters to ever have existed, and obviously silver screen star too. Like, we didn't think about that, but like all the movies that he's been into.
I didn't know when I grew up. I thought he was an actor first. It wasn't until much later on that I realized that he was, a great songwriter. I thought maybe he written just like one or two songs.
No, he was that guy.
My mom said he was.
What?
My mom was like, oh, like my parents are kind of. Man, I had to break free. My parents were like, "Oh, he was in a porn movie with that." So I don't know. My mom said he was like I guess he did some movie where he was naked, and she said he was a porn star.
I don't know about that.
I don't think it's true. There was just like one movie, I think, where he had been like naked or something like that. But to my mom, he was a dirty porn star. So
well, it's like, well, Mom, why are you watching that?
I know.
Dirty Minds.
Didn't think about this at the time. Oh my God, it's so funny.
But
man,
it was one of those experiences of like, I had written a song that I thought would originally be for a Glen Campbell or a Chris Christopherson type, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not at that stage as a songwriter, so I'll record the song myself. Change the perspective and just do it as, just, again, keep going. And Howard was working with Chris and was like, that song that you blah, blah. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I might be able to get Chris to sing on it. He was recording with producer Don was. And I was like, okay. what does that mean? And he's like, well, I'm going to take the song, and if we've got time at the end of the session, I'm going to play it to him, and he'll either say yes or no, or there'll be time or there won't be. And I was like, okay.
Kind of wish you had done this first, then told me,
But like, it was just something to sort of plan, but not plan for. It might not. And it ended up happening. I get this text from Howard, and he sent me a picture of Chris holding the lyric sheet to my song. The song's called Penelope. And he sang some background vocals on it, and it was just like, it became one of those moments where I'm just like, okay. Again, like I'm not saying these things have happened to me, but through surrounding yourself with great people, great producers, great musicians, and someone like Howard that's thinking like big picture, and he's thinking, well, I might be able to make A plus B equals C, or K for Chris, but we might be able to do this. And it happened, and I was just absolutely overwhelmed.
You know what? It's pretty cool. It's like there's always that missing piece of like, you can be really, really talented, really, really driven, but then just to be available and being in the right place, right time, and just being open to any possibility. Yeah. I think a lot of people have a fear of actually making that leap of picking up and moving out, going there, seeing what it's about, and just letting things happen. But it's really cool. Congrats on all that awesome stuff happening to you, and well deserved,
Thank you.
Very cool.
I mean, again, I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew I had to do the things.
No, you had to do the
these
thing.
things had started to happen organically, and they were starting to pick up pace. And I'm making a full record, and I'm building a story. And I think I put together a band. I was playing some shows and starting to sort of build my new, because like when you pick up and move completely, you don't have like your friends and family to come see your shows. It's like it's literally from scratch. You are starting again. And even though I'd written songs for a bunch of people in Australia, and I'd had some things happen in Australia, it didn't mean anything.
Yeah, well,
He was like, let's go. I was like, okay, Katie version 2, let's go.
Katie version 2.
Yes.
Well,
reboot.
Let's like kind of take that apart for a second, is because I think that you kind of hit the nail. I mean, you went halfway across the world, and you knew that you needed to do that. And I think that, a lot of times people get scared, or they feel like they're not going to have the resources, or they're not going to have the help. And so clearly you believed in yourself. You were talented enough that even if, let's just say, it didn't work, you took a chance. And like you said, like, you're optimistic. And so all of those things combined, and you knew you had to be there in the right time. I think that's important, because that's one of the reasons why people come here in the first place. I know you went to LA first because Howard was in LA, right? Yeah. So, but it's like, that's why people travel here, is that like, this is where other people are, you know? I mean, nowadays you might be able to get away with doing more things remotely, but you still got to be here. Because if you're in the room and other people talk about you, you know what I mean? Yeah. You might need someone
like maybe
on the fly.
Like building those relationships off of just being cool and thoughtful. And
that part too.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's important too. Like you said, like, a lot of relationships are built on handshakes and how great you are. And connecting. So that's a big part of the skill set, maybe,
it is.
Right?
It's a more personalized touch, but I think that, were you really, I mean, obviously you were nervous, but did your family sounded like they were pretty supportive of you?
Well, they were supportive in the sense that, like, I always did music. I was playing music. I was playing music in bars and clubs while I was still in high school. Wow. It's like I was doing it, and just continued to do it in a more professional manner, and started to build something and dream bigger. And once I started, like, I was writing for other people, and once I started to write my first American EP, and then met Howard, and it basically was like, well, dream bigger, aim higher, meet people, and I think that's what you were sort of both getting at before. It's like, show people who you are. Like, show up, do the thing, be courteous, be on time, be early. Like, I try to think of myself as like a pro's pro. Like, I show up, I'm there, I know everyone's name, I know what I'm there to do.
Sure.
I try and if it's me doing something or hosting something, I try and make sure everyone's comfortable. And I just think at the end of the day, if people walk away and they're like, I had a good experience, or I don't really remember the song we wrote, but it was a good hang, or whatever it is. But I think I'm still of the mindset of like, the hang has got to be good, sure, but show people who you are. Like, if you're in the room and you're there to write a song, like, that's when you really get to show people who you really are. Like, what can you really do? You're in the room, like, show me what you got.
That's awesome.
And any time I've been in those types of situations, stepping up to do something scary or unplanned or unheard of, I just honestly step into it, even if it's not even like a confidence thing. I am most of the time I'm terrified, but I'm like, the fear has got to be an indication of something. So it's okay. Sometimes being afraid is okay. Being afraid, if it's something that seems treacherous, sure, probably don't do that. But if it's being afraid because it's something unknown, that's natural. I think I may have finished making the record, but was starting to plan the release and plan what I was doing with it. Another person that Howard was working with, the Smashing Pumpkins, Billy was doing a show in Chicago and wanted an opener, and he knew about me through Howard. He's like, he knew me as an acoustic artist, blah, blah, would I want to open up this show at a place called Ravinia, which is like wine and cheese crowds, like outside venue, like pavilion.
Nice.
Nobody's
standing.
No, it's just kind of like, it's a bit of like a afternoon, early evening sort of crowd. And I was like, great. So took a couple of band members with me, played a show, and like, my music's not alternative rock. It's not anything close to what Billy does as an artist. But when you're playing sort of stripped back and acoustic, it's sort of, the song tells the story, and what I do as a performer is I talk a lot on stage, and I tell stories about the songs or just whatever I was doing that day.
But people love that.
And I think that's kind of I've been a performer for years. I know how to do that, and I know how to be myself, and whether you like myself or not, I am comfortable with banter, and I'm comfortable with telling stories, and I know how to write a good set list. So there's like, you put this cover song in here, and then if the crowd's unsure, they're not unsure anymore. They know.
Sure.
They know what you're about now. So she does this song, and then her songs must be related to the thing, and then I should probably buy a record.
You're really good at. You're really good at reading the room.
Look, I try to. I think like we were talking off camera before about communication, but communication is a big one for me, because I think getting to know what people's motivations are and what they really want out of the situation or the conversation, and honestly just showing people who you are, as authentic as that is, even if that's scary, even if it's like, I don't think I'm anything that you need in your situation or co-write or performance or whatever. Again, I'm an Americana artist opening up for an alternative person in that particular situation. But you know what? I'm going to show up. I'm going to do my thing. Yeah. And this is an opportunity. Just step into it and be like, okay, what's going to happen from there? And I could continue to, I think I put out a single at that time, or maybe a single or two. Didn't think anything of it. Just thought that was a one-off experience. And I think it was the following year, Billy reached out to Howard and then to me via that situation, was doing an acoustic tour for the Smashing Pumpkins and wanted me to open the show for that tour. It was going to be a few weeks of shows, and I was like, yeah. And then that evolved into...
Let me check my calendar.
Bro. No, I'm not kidding.
Can make room for that.
No, but it was like, oh, wow, this is something. What do I do now? And I had the record made at the time, and I now would have a platform for an audience. And then the curveball to the situation while I was in the middle of swinging, I'm making all these metaphors that don't make any sense. Edit this out. Edit this and make it make sense. Come on. But while I was swinging and going, okay, I'm going to do this, Billy then was like, do you want to play bass during our set? So I'd be opening the show and then playing bass during their set. And I'm like, yeah.
You're like, do I want to be doing double duty? What is this?
The thing is, I don't know who you think I am. I don't know either. No, but I was like, okay, great. You know, I'm a solid guitarist, and I'd play bass a little bit, but you know, I just practiced my butt off and did that, and it's an interesting thing that happens if you're the opening act. You sort of win people over, you tell your stories and do your thing. And then I would run off stage, go meet people, shake hands, sort of sign records, sell a few things, and then bolt it back to stage and play the set. But I think what inevitably happened in that initial tour was I got to show people exactly who I was, then also play in the band and win two different audiences over.
Yeah.
in an unusual way.
Right.
And I'm not playing alternative songs. I'm playing Americana, singer-songwriter songs and telling stories about good and bad things that have happened to me. And then I'm playing in the band and showing my skill set as a musician. And it was a really interesting time. This was 2015, and this carried over to 2016. I didn't open that tour, but I did play bass, and that was an extensive tour. And they got Jimmy Chamberlain back to play drums. And then they got James E. Howe to play a few shows, and I saw the band reforming on stage while I'm watching going, what?
Yep.
Don't mess the song up. It's really hard. That's me. I'm just like, okay, I don't know how to do all of this, or I don't know what all this means, but just go with it, build it, learn, get good, practice, be comfortable in the unusual situation that you're in. And I was, I think, a couple of weeks into the second tour, which was the 2016 bigger sort of tour, and I was like, I've got to make another record. So I launched another crowdfunder to a slightly bigger audience, and made that video on the road in hotel rooms while half asleep.
Oh my gosh.
But you do what you do, right? Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. So I did that, launched that, and that was successful. And then I was like, okay, I've got to make music now. That's the hard part. And I hadn't really written any songs. I just knew that I had a window to do a thing. So I'm like, just do it. You've got a couple songs.
Did you crowdfund first before the album, and then?
I crowdfunded I made an EP, and then I crowdfunded for a record, put that out, and then I crowdfunded for another EP, and that was, we're on crowdfund number 2.
But did you have like the songs in mind? Okay.
No, I had maybe one song at the time.
Gotcha.
And was like, I'm a songwriter, but it was like I just had to work out what I wanted to write and which songs would be the right songs and which songs go together. Because I think I'd made some, not rookie mistakes in the record that I put out, but I really wanted to be sure about the group of songs being, these all fit together as such a unit that there's no, I didn't want to question anything at all. I didn't want it to be like, you got to put a record out because that's what you got to do. I was like, just put an EP out and then work it out.
Are you the type of person that when you write songs, do you feel really good about it? And then if something changes in your life, or you learn a new skill, or you try different things, like, do you go back and look at the stuff that you've done and appreciate it still? Or do you have this kind of like, oh man, I wish I had done this differently? Is there a little bit of...
I usually only think of it as a body of work, and I don't think of it like in the merit of the song. Like, all the songs that I've put on different records or EPs have been put there for a reason. I only ever question, well, did that song really need to go with that group of songs, or should that have been a standalone song?
I got you. Okay.
I don't have any regrets with the songs that I've got, because I'm so overly critical as a songwriter and then as a lyricist, and then I go back and forth with Howard, and like he's critical too in different ways. Like he's looking at and listening to things with a completely different set of eyes and ears, and it makes me go, it makes you realize why you're fighting for something. If someone's saying, oh, I'm pushing back on this lyric or this bridge or this whatever for this reason, you have to go, but that's the way I wrote it.
Right.
Or you go, maybe I'll take a look at it, which is I don't know. I think I've just written, and I've written enough songs. I've written hundreds of songs that I just know now. It's like, take a pause, take a look at it. Is this the right way for this section to go? Or do you want to have another whack at it?
Sure.
And there's been times where I've been in the studio and how it's gone, I still don't like that line. I've been like, oh my God, I'm recording vocals. And I've just gone like, I'm frustrated. I'm not frustrated at him. I'm just like, well, give me a minute. I'll write something out and I'll be like, this is slightly better.
Yeah.
2%, 5% better is, it's exponentially better because if it's better, it's more, it's better.
Sure.
Then you have pushback on it and you know exactly why you did something. So I'm that writer and I'm that person. I know why songs are on certain records, and I do have regrets about a couple of songs on records. I don't think they should have been on my first full record, Lay It All Down, but I don't regret it. I just think, it was just poor judgment. They should have just been separate songs. But I was excited and like, everything should be on everything. That's how I was at that time.
Oh, I get that. Like you said, you're putting everything out there.
Exactly. But it's like, I didn't just excited doesn't mean right. But now I'm crowdfunding, writing this new set of songs, and I'm like, okay, this has got to be the next layer deep. This has got to be peeling back the onion where you really cry. This has got to be, if it hurts, make it really hurt. If it's love, make it crazy. If it's storytelling, what really happened.
Yeah.
Whose story? Your story, someone else's, it doesn't matter. Just make it worth the emotional experience. And I'm all for going all the way in.
All the way in.
All the way in.
You're committed.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not afraid.
And that's wonderful. And your songs, I mean, first of all, you're an amazing singer, and I feel like you're very natural. Like, you can tell how much effort and how much skill you have, but how much effort you put into it, because everything sounds like it's perfectly together. You know, to me it does. So it's very believable, and I think that's the goal, right?
Yes.
Is to like make it as believable as possible. And I'm like, God, you just like killer voice, great lyrics. I don't know, like I just feel like so I can understand why Howard picked you up from Australia and was like, hey, come on over here and let's take a look. And
you know, it's a common theme, like I keep hearing coming up, and Lisa, we talked about this before, is like when artists are they're let off the hook when I think the key component to unlocking all these doors that happen and in positive is that to be comfortable when it's uncomfortable. So anything that's uncomfortable, whether it's fear, you're intimidated, you feel vulnerable, but you dive in anyways. I just think that unlocks everything else, you know, right?
That's totally it. That's exactly it. And like, from my very first experience of getting off my first big international flight to America, to renting a car, driving on the wrong side of the road in peak hour traffic at 9 a.m.
Oh, God.
On the 101 freeway in LA
Oh, my
that's
God.
6 or 7 lanes wide, and going, just get there.
We're so glad you're okay.
I was so jet lagged. I was so unbelievably jet lagged. I'm like,
We
wrong
are
side
so
of the
glad
car.
you're okay.
I mean, what's the
don't know
worst
what
that
I'm
can
doing. It was, but exactly it. But like, feeling like some levels of fear are still a safe space is a really weird thing to be okay with. But the amount of times I've done that and gone,
yeah.
and been like, I survived that. All the fear and all the adrenaline was just to kind of get you through it.
Right.
Okay, now you know you can do that. Okay, now you can do another thing. You can step onto that stage. You can write the song. You can go deeper. You can let the light on you in the middle of the stadium. You can do this. It's okay to be afraid.
Yeah.
But I feel like I have something to say, and I have a story to share, and I have more than anything, I want to write the songs that people listen to and they're like, yeah, me too.
When you do all these amazing things and you're an amazing singer, an amazing songwriter, people just think it automatically fucking comes easy to you.
No, and
Every time.
I've said this before to people and in interviews and in written interviews that like, if I'm making what I do look easy, then that's the job done.
That's the job done.
Like,
Right on.
it's never, but to show up and be effortless, be prepared, and be whatever, and be calm in literally the center of something you like. I don't even know what's happening, but be collected still, and have your wits about you, but remember what's happening and try and take note of
everything.
I just try and be. I don't know. I try.
Sure.
I'm there for the experience, whatever that is. And for songwriting, like what you said with your other artist, Kelsey, that came in, I feel exactly that way. I think that I'd written all the happy ending songs. I could write, I can and do write them for days, no problem. It's easy to find something positive or the turn of phrase or the clever thing to say. But sometimes it's the moment where the wave crashes and hits you that you're like, and you're not sure if you're going to make it through it. Mm-hmm. I also want to write that.
Yeah.
I want to write the bit where you're in the middle of the thing, where you don't know how it's going to work out, or maybe it doesn't work out at all, but just so that other people can go, oh, it's not just me.
And they feel it too.
And they feel it too, or that you can have some release in the, you know, the empathy side of things of it's cathartic to be like, oh yeah.
No, absolutely.
It's got real.
It got real. You want to write the real stuff.
And can I ask you one thing? Sorry, baby.
Okay.
As far as like the commitment to the craft and the commitment to the song, the commitment to your lyrics and story, and like talk about just, you have to be vulnerable. You have to commit fully, because if you don't, it won't be believable, right? Like you can't go out on a line
Can't lie.
And you can't lie. And like I kind of use this as an analogy, like a comedian like Jim Carrey, right? Mm-hmm. We all know him and how physical he is, but he had to commit and live on that limb like 100% of the time, because if he didn't, it would really fall short and it wouldn't go over. So as far as commitment to your craft and singing your lyrics, how do you deal with that, and what is that like for you? Do your own stuff?
It's not easy, and I do write things sometimes that are beyond what I consider to be my range. And like I grew up playing 5 to 7 gigs a week, 3-hour shows, and never lost my voice due to singing. So I know how to sing without being like, I know how to use the instrument I've got. But like I was still like this new record that, I don't know, we'll probably talk about this in a bit, but like the new record that I'm writing at the moment, I know we're skipping forward in time as well, but I've written songs that I feel exceed what I'm comfortable with, what I think I'm even able to do. And then I have gone into the studio and I've tracked these vocals and I'm like, oh no, I can do that. Again, so I'm having another one of those moments of like, you can do that. You just thought you understood who you were, but it's like, you know, like anything with, you know, human existence, you can recreate yourself, you can change directions, you can grow, you can choose something else. And, you know, vocals for the most part can be a personality or an expression or a delivery. And for me, it's always about the performance and choosing where I'm going to go with it, and knowing what the subject matter is. Where does it really want to go? Does it need to be upper half step? Does it need to be lower because it needs to really speak to you in this tone of voice? Does it, you know, like I try and work out those little bits, so it's not just like every song's like a belt song or every song is this type of song. I do try and write things always that are somewhere in the middle of what I'm comfortable with and uncomfortable with. But this new record, I wrote songs that I was very uncomfortable with the range and where they went, because it was unfamiliar territory to me. But I still was like, I wrote the songs, I gotta go do it now. And these lyrics are super deep, so these vocals that I've had to record have been like very difficult, because they're not what I'm used to. They're not something I can just, like, now that I've sang these songs enough times, like I can sort of step into the shoes now and go, okay, this is the character and this is where I'm at and this is where I need to sing from. But at the time it was like, I had to do so many, I always do a lot of takes. I had to do so many takes to find even the tone of voice and where I wanted to sing to make the lyric really kind of smack you in the face
Yeah.
nicely.
Nicely.
Of course.
Just a nice slap.
I think that is something, there's something to be said for that you're growing through your own songs and your songwriting and pushing those boundaries. And I just really appreciate you like breaking that down, because I don't think a lot of people maybe know or understand, myself included, what it takes to like really put yourself like in certain mind frames. It's almost like you're an actor in some ways. It sounds
but it's
like,
still you.
But it's still you.
It's like, well, which me am I singing this
which
song?
side are you showing?
For some singers, they can be like, oh, I just want to sing it like blah, blah. Like my version of wanting to do like Aretha is not Aretha. So, or my version of wanting to do like Nat King Cole is not going to be Nat King Cole. It's going to be, well, this part of my personality that likes to sing in this way.
Sure.
So I can hear them sing all I want, but I'm like, I'm never going to sound like that. But I know my version of that and the personality I know the personality to sing with. And then for this word, I need to bend this word a little bit so that personality comes out. Or I know I've got to pitch this way so that, like, I'm very aware of what I can do with my voice.
To manipulate it.
Yeah.
I think that what we should do, because I think, it's great stuff. And I think that this actually, talking about challenges and stepping onto new thing, is going to bring us into the next segment about teaching how to make a cocktail.
Good segue, babe. That was brilliant.
I was like, I think I didn't do it. She did it all. You said it perfectly. I think that you're up for the challenge, and I mean, this is going to be really easy. But we're going to
try to be comfortable with this.
Yeah,
right?
Try to be comfortable.
Geez.
You're going to do fine. I think that's
I make a hell of a cup of tea.
Well, this is going to be a coffee cocktail.
Okay.
So here we go.
Perfect.
Yes, I think that what I'm going to do right now is take a couple of minutes, bring up some tools together, and then we're going to dive in. I'm going to teach you how to make a drink.
Excellent.
Okay.
Awesome.
Cool. I'll be right back.
Hey, this is Kelsey Hickman, and you are listening to or watching Nashville on the Rocks.
Kind if you're with the guys, but you should've maybe let them know. And now if I don't work, if you don't tell them first, so down the rabbit hole we go. That I should be hitting your extracurricular women you train up for us. 'Cause 1 and 1 just don't make 3, so you're the thing that don't add up. No, you can't come around. No way you let me down. Once you pull the trigger, well it's gone, gone, gone. Oh no, we don't belong. I'm up and moving on. So tell me, babe, why you try to make this short story long?
Okay, so we are back now, and we have all the tools in front of us, and I am very excited because I love to teach this part of the show. It's extra fun for me because it puts everybody on the spot in a great way, in a nice way. I get to see what everybody's made of. So this is great.
Don't mess it up.
Don't mess it up. And so I wanted to say we're doing a little tribute here. So we have a couple of things going on. We're gonna do an espresso martini, but we're gonna do it, and it's gonna be pumpkin style because I thought that would be super great. But
It's all connecting.
It's all connecting. Okay, so what we have here is this Old Smoky moonshine pumpkin spice, which actually you can get now in the store because even though we're filming this in June, in my heart, it's Halloween all the time. So
I noticed with your shirt. Your Freddy Krueger. Yes, I do. Your Freddy Krueger shirt.
So the Old Smokies, have you ever had any of the Old Smokies?
Yes, I have. I don't remember
Okay.
which flavor, but it was some sweet.
They are, but they make really good flavors.
Yes,
And so
right.
I'm really excited to try this one. And then I have to give a shout out to our friend Clayton Kidd. Clayton has been a big supporter of this show since the first day. He used to work for Angel's Envy. He works for Diageo now. He's been on our Halloween episode twice. So he gifted us this bottle of Mr. Black coffee liqueur, which is cold brew coffee blended with 100% Australian vodka.
It's connecting.
It's all connecting. So we're going to use that
That's
in the
wild.
cocktail. And then I have this Vusa vodka here, which is an African sugarcane vodka. I know, and I have a little bit left, and I figured it'd be great in this cocktail. And so Dan's brother came in. He was he's on tour with Dope right now, and he stopped in for the day. And when I got home, he was like, I've been drinking this Vusa vodka. Is that okay? I was like, I don't care. How do you like it? He's like, I love this stuff. I was like, great, cool. Everybody use the Vusa. This is really
Good
nice
stuff.
too. And I love the bottle. I love the Art Deco. Okay, so let's break this down. For those of you that are watching us, you're obviously going to be able to see what we're doing. For those of you that are listening, I'm going to walk you through it. So, Katie, this is a jigger. This is a bartender's tool. Big side, small side. Big side has a couple of measurements. This is 2 ounces. This is 1 ounce. And on the inside, you'll see those little lines right here. So it's like a 1/2 ounce, 3/4 ounce. And on the bigger side, it's 1.5 ounces and 2 ounces. Yeah, so I use these all day. It's kind of great.
cool.
It's fun. All right, so what we'll do I'm going to make 2 cocktails. So I'm going to make Dan's cocktail and your cocktail, and you're going to make mine.
Okay.
It's going to be great.
Okay.
So I'll walk you through how to do this. First thing we're going to do is...
It's been nice being on the show.
So first, I have so much faith in you. So I'm going to pass you the Vusa. And what you're going to do is flip the jigger over to the smaller side, and you're going to fill it all the way to the top and put it in this big shaker tin. It's okay. I can just talk to fill space at this point, but you're going to fill it all the way to the top, tippy top. Yep. Put it right in there. Beautiful. See, you did a great job. I'll take this back, and obviously I'm doubling it up, so I'm going to fill this to the top.
Double.
Ooh, is this going to be the bottle? Ooh,
Yes.
should it be the
Kill it,
bottle?
babe. Kill it.
Just kill it. Why don't I just take it to the head? I'll just have Katie take it to the head. There's a little bit left there. You know what? Katie, I'm not going to put you on the spot right now. We'll save this for later so you can take that to the head. Look at her. She's like, whoa, what did I sign up for? Okay, so you're going to take the Mr. Black vodka, same thing. You're going to take the small side, fill that up to the tippy top. It's okay. It's just alcohol. It's just, yeah. It's fine. You're going to pour it right in there. I got a towel too. Okay. So then I'm going to do the same thing. 2 ounces. Perfect. Ooh, and now for the next part, we get to crack open this Old Smoky Moonshine. All right, let's do this. Oh, wait.
I was going to say.
First.
And cut.
And, yeah. Babe, I was going to say I might need to use your man hands, but I actually got it. So, okay. So
These guys?
Oh, yeah.
those guns. All right. So I'm going to do this first because it's a little full. I'm going to fill this right to the top.
That looks amazing.
All right. Here, I'll give you the towel just to make you feel better. And then you take this and you're going to fill this.
Garnish my tips.
Small
side again?
Small side again. Yes. Pour it right in there. Oh, that. I like pumpkin. It's fine.
Coming in hot.
It's all rock and roll.
It's all rock and roll. So now that the hard part's out of the way, the measurement side, what we're going to do is we're going to take this small tin and put it on the big tin. Okay? And now we're going to make sure it's sealed because we're going to shake it. So give it a little... Yeah! Got it. Okay, and we're going to shake this for about... let's do about 20 seconds on this.
Okay.
So the whole thing about...
That's a lot.
It is. It's going to be cold by the time we're done, but it's going to get a really nice frothy texture to it. And that's one of the best parts about an espresso martini. Okay, so ready? Katie, you ready? All right, go. Let's go. I love this. It's so much fun.
5, 6.
Shake, shake. That's why I got to have strong shoulders. Shake all day. See, and you're doing a great job. What is this? When we have drummers on the show, they say these are usually eighth notes. I don't know what's happening. Okay, I think we're getting there. 20 seconds? Who knows?
You're
All right.
about there now.
All right, I think we're good. Okay. All right, see how that's like frosty?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're gonna break this seal. So we're gonna open it like the side. I know it's kind of tricky.
Yeah.
You got it. Perfect.
One side, maybe. There.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, All right, see if you look in the tin how it's like extra frothy. Yes. It's so pretty. Oh. All right, and you're gonna take this strainer and then you're gonna pour it right into the glass. All right, that's what we're gonna do. Ready? Yeah, ooh. Ooh, this looks so nice. Probably, no. Oh, that looks good. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Ooh, all right, let's do the swap. The smashing pumpkin. Let's do a swap on this. All right, babe. Sorry, I didn't have an extra fun martini glass for you, so I just got you a little wine glass.
That's what I prefer.
All right, cool. All right, so I love these. I do some of my cocktail videos with these. Okay, so this is our little martini glass. All right, cheers. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's take a sip. Hopefully it doesn't suck.
It's pretty good.
Oh my God, that's really good.
Yeah.
You did it.
Clayton, you did it again, man.
That is good.
Yep, that's a good one. Katie, you make a good drink.
Thank you.
You want to come bartend with me? What if we did events?
I don't know. Do you have other tables I can spill things on? I'm branching out.
That'd be so hilarious to be like, guys, I'm bringing someone to work just for an hour. We're just gonna have a good time. We're just gonna see what happens. It's gonna be so good. Yeah,
That's
but
great.
this is great. You did a great job. How do you
love
feel?
it.
No, it felt good.
Good.
This
This is a little.
is my first sort of endeavor into this. This is great.
This is kind of boozy, kind of sweet.
Yeah.
It is boozy, but yeah, I really dig it. I like this recipe.
Deceptively, it's like, I don't know, it just tastes
Now,
so
it's
good.
very-
Tastes more like the
Dessert?
espresso. Yeah, so it's
Yes.
like it tastes like an espresso dessert.
Yes, and I'm actually loving that.
Not
Totally
really
cool with it.
pumpkin-y, just creamy.
Just creamy.
Yeah.
Just enough.
Yeah.
They did a good job. All right. Well, okay, moving on to the next part of the show. So we've touched a little bit about your gigging with the Smashing Pumpkins.
Yes.
You've been playing with them for a long time. So you do keys, you play bass sometimes, and you sing. Do you have anything coming up with them?
They've got tours this year. I'm not doing any of the
Okay,
tours this
okay.
year. And again, it's like it's been fine with me because like I have been wanting to make this record for a really long time, and I did crowdfunding for it during one of the other tours last year. I had a lot going on last year. It was a really big year for me, just emotionally and just what was happening in my life. And the songs that I wrote were just, it's like now is the right time for these songs. And, you know, everything that I wanted to say during the pandemic and things like that, which kind of shut us all down and made us all have to reset. And then we're like, well, now that I've reset and I'm back out in the world, am I the same me? And it's like I started to realize again, I said, I don't think I am. And I wanted to sort of express, again, the songs that are the harder ones to write, which are about, you know, grief and anxiety, but with my own flair, as in like, here's the bigger way to say this. Here's the bigger way to say, you know, to a friend, you've gone through a really hard time, but I'm here.
Yeah.
I wanted to write that song. I wanted to write a song for my mom who passed away last year. And, you know, during, you know, a really difficult time of being busy and whatnot. And it's like, but you find a way to get through it, and you find a way to take all the people with you. And like I was saying that sort of on break as well, that like even when I travel, I'm like, I feel like I'm taking everyone with me.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, sometimes you feel like I'm experiencing this experiencing this with my sister or with my mom or, you know, with, you know, friends, or like, I always feel like it's, even though it's just me, maybe it's all of us.
Yeah.
And I feel that way a lot when I'm writing. I think I write for all of us. It's some of the things are deeply personal, but I also draw from experiences of friends and family and what I see. And if everyone's experiencing like high anxiety, which a lot of people came out of,
Yeah.
a lot of people do still have pretty high anxiety for social situations and what's normal. You know, because all of a sudden we have Uber Eats and DoorDash and all these things that
Right.
like weren't there. They got like everything got sped up for the better.
Right.
Yay.
Yeah. Same. I feel that way.
But it's those things of like, well, what's the new norm? What's the new me? What's normal for everyone? What's not normal, but what should I talk about? So I started writing those songs. And the EP that I'd put out previously was during the pandemic, and I hadn't sort of experienced everything I needed to yet. I was just still writing my, like, here's my acoustic album of thoughtful, meaningful songs about my journey. And then I got out of it and was like, oh, I got to write all the important songs now.
Yeah.
Like it sort of hit me really hard, and it has to be a full record. And this new record has almost full orchestration, like an orchestra on majority of songs. And aim, when I was talking about aiming and throwing darts up into the air and not knowing where they're going to land, I absolutely did that with this record. Doing something I'd never done before, which is a song with, strings and big horns and those classic sort of sounding songs, and saying the things that are really, really, really hard to say.
Yeah, especially now because of all the changes that have happened. And I think that that's really good, because it's nice that, you have so many opportunities, but you've worked for those opportunities, like we talked about. And that's wonderful that you still have, those relationships available. But I think that this, like you said, it sounds like it's perfect for you, because you've been trying to do this for a while. So it's like you need that time. You need that space to put into that, to get that out, And I'm sure that it sounds like, being the type of songwriter that you are, I don't know if other songwriters feel this way. I'm not entirely sure, but I will say that it's like you probably have some big emotions, or just emotions that you feel like you need to get out. And if you can't get them out, they just build. So this is like a nice cathartic way to release that for you.
Well, I realized I hadn't, like, I made a choice a few years back to write the songs, as I was saying a bit earlier, like just write the songs that maybe are the in-between songs, the songs that are in the grey area.
Yeah.
Like they're not the happy songs, they're not really the sad songs. Some of them are the in-between songs. And with this record, I was like, I want to write the really important songs and the songs that I feel like should be timeless songs. Like I started doing a thing which at dinner time started listening to like a lot of like old Bing Crosby and just classic songs, because I'm so used to listening to stuff within my wheelhouse or stuff in my genre, or diving down new playlists of whether it's new folk or new alternative rock or whatever. And I was just like, to make this record, I kind of have to be, if I was an actor, I'd be like, this is what I'm a method actor. I'm not, I was an extra on the show Nashville once. That's my, literally the back of my head is shown in the shot.
That's great.
That's fine.
Well, it's great hair, so I understand why they used it.
You're welcome, Nashville. But this is where I was like, I need to hear all these songs. I need to sort of dive into the heart of what makes like a timeless song, and why do you listen to those classic sort of more so like 50s and 60s songs, and like why do they sit in their own space? Like, and it's a lot of the time it was that orchestra thing, and that's like, that was a dream of mine. You think, oh, I'd love to do that, but it's so expensive. It is so expensive
to get an orchestra.
It is so expensive.
I can imagine.
But again, I can. I was like, I'm going to do
I don't
a
have a number.
Kickstarter. I'm going to aim big, and I'm going to try and do what I can do with the budget that I've got. And I have the Nashville Symphony Orchestra on a bunch of songs, and it's a lot. It's
no
very
big deal.
scary.
Just the Nashville Symphony Orchestra.
But it's like it's a big project, and it's a big section, and I had some great musicians to work with, and Howard pulled in a piano player that I've worked with before, Tim Lauer, and Tim Lauer did the arrangements for the songs. So there's these big string arrangements, and like writing the sections into the songs so they have these big lifts. So it might be this, I was leaning into, like, just because there's orchestras and songs doesn't mean it's classical music, but it's like I was leaning into Nick Drake and still into some Dusty Springfield, but like other folk artists, and just trying to bend what the song will sound like
Sure.
it's rather than just going, well, this is this type of song, so you just do this with it, going, what else can we do to make this sit in a more, like, if you listen to a band like the Beatles and people say, I like the Beatles, I don't like the Beatles, but it's like, but which era of the Beatles? But
Yeah.
sometimes you'll go down a rabbit hole and you'll listen to a bunch of songs and you'll be like, well, this era of the Beatles has tons of orchestration on it, but it still sounds like the Beatles, or it's still a folk song underneath it. It's still Paul writing this song, or it's John writing this song, and it's like, but with these big arrangements that tell the story. That's the bigger appeal of what I was trying to basically achieve with this record that I'm working on.
That's so cool.
Something that sits outside of genre, that sits outside of anything that I've done before. And I wrote the songs, and I wrote these big sort of changes in songs and these jazz changes into songs so that things would modulate, and you'd be like, oh, you don't know
That's awesome.
what's happening musically, or, you know, if you're not a musician, but you're like, oh, something's happening.
Yeah.
Something's happening.
That's
It was something very ambitious for me to write very meaningful songs with meaningful lyrics, but not have them seem that way, that
Yeah.
they seem easy, like the thing we were talking about before,
Yeah.
making things seem easy.
Is there something that well, first I want to say you've been doing tons of like acoustic performances lately. And I think that's really cool because I've been checking out your page, and so I've been meaning to come to one of them and check you out, but like you're out there like doing all the things. And so what is new on the horizon for you for this summer?
I just try and fit in things locally, like songwriter rounds that are, I mean, they're a chance to play songs that either I haven't played out before, or songs that I'm working on, or that I want to share again, or sometimes it's just me wanting to get out and be amongst other songwriters and hear what other people are doing.
Sure.
I mean, one of my co-writers, John Capek, that I co-wrote a couple of songs off my upcoming record. The funniest thing about Nashville is what you were saying about like how it brings everyone together and all that stuff. But he was listening to a radio interview that I had done with WMOT, and I had seen him talk while he was in Australia, because he lived in Australia for a period of time. He was born in Prague.
Okay.
He lived in Canada and then moved to Australia for a very long stretch of time.
Okay.
And I saw him do a talk about songwriting, because he'd written songs for Rod Stewart and Bonnie Raitt and all these different people. And I was like, great
No
songwriter.
big deal. No big deal.
But like, I was like, this guy is like peak songwriter, real deal guy. And I remembered, like, because I was saying earlier, like I remember everything about everything all the time. But I remembered this talk and was like, he's someone that like I thought about a few times, like, oh, great songwriter. And I remember what he said in that thing. And he sent me an email after I did this interview and was like, oh, I just heard your interview and heard some of your songs and just thought it was really great and interesting. And we co-wrote a couple of songs. Again, it was one of those things of circling back around. And
Yeah.
he's a bit older. He's in his 70s, but incredibly still tuned into doing something exciting and unique. And I was like, what an incredible thing to move to Nashville to meet someone that I sort of know but don't know, that is, I'm a couple of generations removed from, but like have a complete kinship with musically. And I'm like, what an incredible thing for that to sort of happen.
Absolutely.
So doing songwriter rounds with people like him and other people, like that's a big deal to me, where you get to hear like the best of the best songwriters, that like those are the songs. It's not the three chords and talking about trucks. It's like, it's the songs that really kind of hit you, where you're like,
Yeah.
you're like, is that cut by someone? And they're like, no. Or it's like, oh, so-and-so cut it. And you're like, of course they did. But you wouldn't know, like, they're just great songs. Like, that's the stuff that excites me. But yes, I'm mostly just making a record. I may be touring later this year, but I will circle back on that. I'm waiting for some information. It's something else completely different.
So what are some of your current like things that you're listening to or influences? I know you named some, like going back.
I have been going back. Like I've gone forward so many times to listen to contemporaries. Like I love what Casey Musgraves does. I think she's a really interesting artist, because she's not really in the scope of what's commercial, yet she's commercial. Like I don't understand that math, but I just know it's mathing. But I do go back I go back way more than going forward because there's a world of music that I haven't heard yet that
Yeah.
I listen, like I really listen to a lot of music, but like I'll circle back and be like, oh, you know, I need to listen to this record that I know one song from it. I'll find a new song that I love.
Sure.
But I mean, for this record, it's been listening to Fairport Convention, Carpenters, Bacharach, as I said, Dusty Springfield, Nick Drake. There's been a lot of Nick Drake in there, some Seal. I've been drawing from everywhere, but like I grew up, you know, learning to sing, listening to like Chris Cornell, like so.
Yeah.
I mean, and Aretha and Annie Lennox, and like that's. I really love music, not just music in one genre. So it's very difficult for me when I have to say I'm an Americana artist when I don't really mean that. I just mean this is the umbrella I'm under right now.
Right.
But I really want to make a record that sort of defies a bit of genre.
Sure. Is there a current band, out of curiosity, or artist that you're listening to that's new? That something you discovered maybe in the past year or two? I know that's a tricky one.
It is a tricky one because sometimes I'll be like, yeah, I heard this song, and then I don't remember what the artist is. But I'm notorious for that. Howard still makes fun of me today for saying once, someone should name a band The Band. And he's like, you're kidding, right? And like, I know a bunch of the band's songs and just had not put it together. But that was like one of our first sessions. And yeah, he still makes fun of me. But
you know, when you were talking about Howard for a second there, and you were talking about him going to Chris and telling you about it, for a minute there I got a little mad at Howard. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'd be like, if that was me, I'd be like, don't tell me, just do it first, because what if it does?
He told me before he went in.
I know.
And he just basically said, don't get your hopes up, but like it might happen, but it might not. And the fact that it did, I mean, the fact that it could happen, it's like if you're nominated for an award and you don't win it, there's still a win in a nomination. Like, so I'm with like celebrating the.
Absolutely.
Even if it didn't happen, I can celebrate getting close to it. But the fact that it did, I can be like,
well,
yes.
And that's where like my initial reaction was, what the fuck? But then I thought about it. I was like, no, he was excited. He wanted you to know.
Yeah.
And because if he didn't believe in you,
Yeah.
or he didn't believe in it, he wouldn't have told you.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, okay, so Howard's a win. Howard's still a win.
Howard's a good guy.
Yeah,
It's a win.
honestly, I've been very lucky to be in the company that I've kept over the last, 10 years or so of my career. But I've been given so many strange opportunities that I've kind of just, like, I've always loved, like, even talking off camera about vocal arrangements. Like, I've always loved vocal arrangements, and I've written some immensely complicated vocal arrangements for my own music, and never thought, I'll get to do that for other people. And the fact that I got to do that for a couple, technically 3 very big Pumpkins records, it sort of stretched me and like, well, you can do that. And you can do what's asked of you and more, and offer other ideas that even you don't even know you can do.
Right.
You can take these genres or these artists and go, how do I apply that to this? And I think that makes me, and I'm able to be a good critique of the situation I'm in. And I think any opportunity you get as a creative to be able to do that with your own art as well is huge. Like, I think I'm able to do things like that because I can critique my own work as I'm going and go, well, is that the best? I can do it now myself. Is that the best version of the lyric? Is that the best version of the melody? Rather than just going, that's it. I can go, well, is that something that, what would Stevie Wonder be happy with that? Would
Like putting yourself in
Dionne Warwick be happy with that?
Shoes.
Or exactly, and we'll just if you take yourself out of your own headspace that's going like, what's for dinner tonight? Do I need milk? Like everything that's going on in there, and this is like literally just separating yourself and going, well, what would like the best of the best or very talented people in different genres and different space, would they be happy with this?
Right.
Would this be the win? And if it's not, then it's like, well. And that's when often I'll either go back to the drawing board, do other versions of things, or I'll give it to Howard and be like, what am I missing?
Sure.
Or is this good? Is this good, or am I insane? Like, sometimes I don't know.
Such a good question.
That should be a game show.
You know, it's
Such a good question.
just as like somebody that's collaborating all the time with other people. It's really cool and rare though to be able to trust somebody with music, because
I
like
know.
those relationships are rare, right?
Well, I trust that, especially with Howard, what I'm able to do is go, if he's saying something to me, he's saying it based on his musical experience, a gut instinct, or what he knows of me. One of those things, like he knows, no, you can do more. And it's like the first time I was doing arrangements for the Pumpkins record, Sear, and like I think I had done 2 complete mock-ups and teardowns, and I showed it to him, and he's just like, he didn't say like, oh, that's crap, but he was just like, it's not enough. Okay. You're not go all the way. And as soon as I sort of broke that barrier in me, my subconscious, my fear of what I can or can't do, or think I should or shouldn't be, or able to do or not able to do, I was like, well, and I literally just went as far as I could go with a couple of ideas on songs, and was like, huh. And then when the song isn't the song without the thing you did, you're like, huh. And it sort of gives you, it builds, it's not confidence as much as going, you've helped build a world here.
Right.
And that's a really interesting thing to do with like vocal arrangements. It's building a different emotional experience, but if a song is really sparse and you're building little moments and like I'm always just like, oh, come in here and do a thing, or there's a really cool synth line, sing that too, or build on that and sing over that, and like I'll get crazy and try things.
Sure.
But being able to do that with someone else's music, and I've always done it with mine, to then come back to do more of it on my music, I had broken so many barriers that I was like, oh, this is really easy now. I know right away if like I am sucking. Like, it sucks. It's not good. And I can be like, okay, you do better.
Do better.
Do better. And I'll just mute everything, create another 8, 10, 15 tracks and be like, let's just start again. This is not good.
Oh my God. Do you have, when you write your music, now in the past you've had people that came and sang backup. Now, what do you have going on for this album? Have you thought about that yet? Or
no, I've done some tracking. I did use a couple. I mean, I've done a lot of background vocals myself on some songs. Some songs have nothing, and that's a really scary space for me because I'm used to just filling up stuff with stuff because I can and I know exactly what I can do. But then it's like, no, let the vocal do the thing. Like in so many songs that I just love, it's mostly just a vocal that I'm listening to. So that's been a scary space, but I did get some background vocalists in for a couple of songs that do texturally stuff that I can't do. And I've done that before when I did songs like a song of mine called Graceland and a song of mine called One More Time. I got gospel vocalists in to do the sections that I wrote for them. Just knowing texturally, not only do these people a lot of the time do a lot of sessions together, but they just have this is them in church. This is the thing. I'm a heathen. I'm terrible. I can do gospel, but it's like that tonally they open their mouth and these vocalists will just like
shine through.
Unbelievably bring so much more character. And you know, some vocalists, you just go, just do a thing, do a take and see what you would sing here. And it's like, okay, we're keeping that because it's just, like you think of songs like, I go back to it often, a song like a Prayer, Madonna. I know this is a rock podcast and I shouldn't be talking about Madonna.
I like Madonna.
No, we love Madonna.
But like I will reference, as I said to you, like I really love
I was listening to Madonna earlier this week.
I love music and I will go back and I reference things. I remember what I know from this thing. But like you listen to a song like a Prayer, and when at the end of the song, the vocalist comes up and is singing and Madonna's still singing her thing. Yeah. But like there's a background vocals that takes over. Yeah. And that happens in like a number of like key songs that aren't really that like the vocalist isn't anyone, but they take over, like the Never Ending Story. I think of that. I love 80s music and Lamal, and there's a background vocalist that sings like some heavy parts of the song, and you're like, well, it wasn't a duet, but they're singing heavy parts. But like, it's okay to let someone else lead if that's the right thing. But for this cycle around, to circle back to the question you asked me about 35 hours ago, I got some kind of old school group. They're not, I don't know how else to put it, but like just really good folk, like professional folk vocalists. And they sang together, and they've done stuff for Vince Gill, and they're just total pros. And they sang these parts that I'd written for them, and even helped to elaborate on them. And the fact that they sing all in like this, group of mics together, and you have this wonderful overlap of, it's not just this isolated vocal, it's clean and whatever. It's like this group of vocals, and it's all together, and it's like a totally different thing. But like those old school sort of 50s songs where it's like the group of singers around the one microphone singing these parts together, and a lot of those people are sight reading, and they're like reading the thing, and you're like,
on the fly.
I can't do anything. I can't read or write music. I just write the songs. But I did get some people in for a couple of songs, but everything else, for the most part, I think I'm going to do. I've done some parts already, and some songs I'm going to leave alone, which is, again, it's very scary for me. I don't have that many songs out there that don't have me doing bells
more
and whistles.
or adding more to it.
Well, no, I can, but it's something about leaving a vocal alone and letting it be vulnerable. And
just letting it
A little bit more intimate, maybe. You know, a little bit
that's
more
it.
close.
yeah, something like that. It's for the genre, so it's like this. Some of these songs would be left alone.
I know that we're probably going to wrap it up here, but I want to, first of all, I'm going to come to your show. One of your shows that you're doing, I'm going to be looking out for it, and I'd love to come check it out. I want to see you perform live. And everybody, I want you all to check out Katie Cole, Instagram, Facebook, your website, YouTube. Just follow her. Like, she's doing some obviously really incredible things. And then I want to gift this to you. So I'm going to give you this Old Smoky Pumpkin Moonshine. So I think one of the great things that you said about this cocktail is that it wasn't so pumpkin-y. So I'm like,
Pumpkin-y.
I said
It's a weird word.
So I think this cocktail is more smashing, less pumpkin. So like, I just want to
one,
give
babe.
this to you. So this is yours.
Thank you.
And it's good for the next 12 months. Just keep it in the fridge. And then you could put it in your
Wonderful.
coffee. I don't think it'll be good in your tea, but put in your coffee, make some
we know it
drinks.
works with coffee.
Yes. And I think that would be awesome. And thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me and let me tell my crazy story. It was lovely to get to know you too.
Thanks, you too. And I will say
Likewise.
that, like, you just reaching out to you on socials, like, you were so on top of it, which I was like, this girl. I was like, I'm digging it. So cheers. Thank you, Katie, for coming on the show.
Cheers.
And until next time. All right.
Until next
bye,
time.
All
guys.
right.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in to Nashville on the Rocks. We're so grateful for your support. If you're enjoying our content, we'd love it if you could hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. And don't forget to follow us on social media and give us a like on iTunes, Spotify, and all your other go-to streaming sites. Your feedback is super important to us, so please leave us a review as well. Thanks so much.